Welcome back to the PlayVS High School Rocket League Central Region Championship Finals. I'm the Doxology. Alongside me is Caribou. And again, we've had a really good best of 7 series so far between the number 2 seed, the EMHS Bulldogs, and the number 20 seed, the Carmel High School Greyhound Gold. And we've seen some technical difficulties and some power, situations where we've had disconnects. So this is game 6. The Greyhound Gold have a 3-2 lead in the best of 7 series. We are replaying through game 6 due to a disconnect. And now EMHS, the Bulldogs, put one on the board with 4:53 remaining. And Caribou, I mean, there's nothing you can do when it comes to, a disconnect from weather or things like that. So you got to just commend both of these teams for the sportsmanship to allow and say, look, we want to do this right. So let's make sure we play this game out.
Yeah, and not only that, but just a game pride thing. It's like, okay, well, if you want to win a championship, you want to win a championship legitimately. You don't want it to be like, yeah, you won, but, the other team had disconnects. Or, yeah, you won, but you had XYZ for excuses. Like, you want it to be a legitimate, genuine 3v3, my team, your team, at our full capacity championship game.
Braywood, Logan, and G-Man. You see G-Man with 0 boost for a little bit there. And he's been a very big powerhouse for the Bulldogs as he plays it and gets clipped just a little bit evil with the shot on goal. Logan with the big time save. 3:53 remaining in game 6. Again, Miwa working along the boards has been absolutely outstanding on offense and defense, along with Jax, as Jax ties it up for the Greyhound Gold. Off of this redirect, you see Braywood trying to clear it out, but Jax just reads that so clean and puts it into the back of the net with 3:44 remaining in this game.
And that's just a really good commit right there to go to and recognize the opportunity that you have, because Evil even is in the corner as well. So that's like all 3 players for the Greyhounds on that side of the field. And if it doesn't go the way they want it to, I mean, I'm sure they're still in position to get back in time and rotate back to the defensive side. But to just show the excellence that this team has had on both sides of the ball for both of the teams, realistically, it's done so well to create small opportunities to take advantage of. And that one, little bar down ski. Okay, Evil. And then some help from the framework, but 2-1, nothing to laugh at.
Some beautiful English on that ball as well, coming across at midfield. 3:18 remaining as the Greyhound Gold now with a 1-goal lead. Both of these teams, like you said before, both of these teams have done such a great job. It's not like we've had any blowouts or any 6-0s or, feelings where one team just fully dominates. It started out with a 3-1 game to the Greyhound Gold. Then it went to a 3-1 game for the EMHS Bulldogs. And you think about just kind of how equal it's been throughout. Game 3 went to the Greyhound Gold. Game 4 to the Bulldogs. Game 5 to the Greyhound Gold. And now with G-Man tying things up with 2:51 remaining for the Bulldogs. I mean, it's anybody's game. And it's still, I have a feeling that if it does go game 7, we might see some extra time Rocket League, for the championship.
There's a real chance we see a little more extra time in game 6 as well. I mean, just the way that these teams are playing, they're going blow for blow, trading punches, and they're just not giving anything up on either side. They're not going to let the other team get away. And I think that game 3 scoreline is an outlier at 5-2. I don't think that's genuinely descriptive of one side having that much more control. I just think that game worked out a little bit better in favor of the Greyhound, but it's just a great back and forth series. And they have made mistakes. They've worked on them. They fixed them the next game. They've changed up those strategies ever slightly so that we have had this back and forth series where you take a game, I take a game. You take a game, I take a game.
2 minutes left in this game, a 2-goal apiece game. I mean, you think about it, they play so similar that they've really matched each other shot for shot, save for save, goal for goal now. Going into the final 105 seconds of this game. I mean, it's just impressive to see how well they've rotated back. You see all three defenders for the Bulldogs back, and then you see on the other side, Greyhound getting back, rotating well. Miwa now with the long shot, but Braywood's right there, can't get enough of it, and Miwa sneaks that one in to take a 3-2 lead for the Greyhound Gold. You see how well he just placed that, and Braywood can't get to it to knock it out. I mean, that was just a beautiful shot, beautiful execution, and now with 128 remaining, Greyhound holding this lead.
Kind of curious what Tom scored in that situation, because obviously Logan was up to try to challenge the 50. He only had 5 boosts left, so there really wasn't anything going. That demo's we can open that door. Yep, another one there. So a huge demo on the backside by Jax, but would get that. But just a small breakdown on the defensive front for that third goal. The demo is the 4th goal up, and now all of a sudden Greyhound picked up a lot of momentum just because of a singular mistake that the Bulldogs made.
1 minute, 15 seconds in this game 6 of this Central Division Championship Finals. Again, it's a best of 7 series. The Greyhound Gold have the advantage on a 3-2 lead in the series. 1 minute remaining, and you got to sense the desperation of the Bulldogs as they've got to get shots on board. G-Man playing it up and over. Logan comes in, but Miwa tries to clear it out. Instead, Evil's going to throw it over to Jax, who takes a little bit of a shot on goal just to kind of use up some more time. And you think about how quickly the things have changed. We've seen 2 goals scored really quick by the Bulldogs before. Can they do it with the final 35 seconds of gameplay to push this to a Game 7? Or will the number 20 seed, the Carmel High School Greyhound Gold, complete their upset run and become champions as Jax throws in an insurance goal, and with 23 seconds, the EMHS Bulldogs trail by 3.
This is almost worst case now. Like, it is absolutely possible, and we've seen EMHS have great success off the kickoff. Watch the speed flip, see if they get a pinch off the wall, see if they can get a shot on, but the ball goes the wrong way. The unfortunate circumstance of this game is that G-Man was never able to really get in a position to get the shots on, to get online. Even on a 2-on-1 right there with him and Logan, like they still haven't been able to break open that Greyhound defense that really stepped up here in game number 6 on top of their immaculate offense. We saw them earlier on. They put up more shots than the other team. That's just the pressure, the difference maker that gives them the crown.
Congratulations to the number 20 seed, the Carmel High School Greyhound Gold. You are the Central Region champions. As you see on some of the replays, just the beautiful gameplay of both of these teams have been impressive. But talk about the fortitude of mental capacity between the number 20 seed coming in against the team that hadn't lost a game this entire season, and they took them in 6 games in this championship final, Caribou.
Yeah, 4-0 going into this one. All of a sudden, they drop a couple of games like, okay, this team is beatable. We can do this, but a 20 seed on the run that they've made, longevity that they've had from start to finish, like just the way that it's going, to be able to do that, to beat really high-ranked teams, a very well-earned victory.
Yeah, we look on the bracket here as it is official. The Greyhound Gold complete their championship run. I mean, they took down the number 8 was the LHS Spicy Finnick. They took them down, but EMHS, again, they had a tough road throughout, but they did not drop one game. Even against Lane Tech Legion, they were the number 3 seed. So yeah, really, you just got to say hats off to both of these teams. It was a 64-team bracket, and to be the final 2 teams, runner-up is not bad. Again, the Bulldogs are going to have plenty of time to really just make some things happen. But really, the Greyhound Gold, 10th graders across the board. So we're going to see this championship team most likely in the next seasons of gameplay in PlayVS, which is extremely exciting to kind of anticipate what the skill level is going to be next season.
Yeah, and to have that level of success to look forward to. You already had a lot of success here, and now you got a championship. And just expect a bounce back this fall, 21. This team will be right back here.
Not to mention that now these young 10th graders that are going to just absolutely show up in the PlayVS Cup next in June next month. I mean, they get like a week or two off and then they're right back at it to really shine through with the head-to-head of the champions of champions. That's going to be a phenomenal time, so keep your eyes open for that PlayVS Cup. But from PlayVS, I'm the Doxology, along with me, Caribou. That's going to do it for us. And one more time, congratulations to the Carmel High School Greyhound Gold for being your Central Division champions. Stay tuned, though, because next we are going to have the Pacific Region Rocket League Championship right after this.
Yo, this a motherfucking war zone. It's a war zone. Yeah, feel the impact. Yeah, break it open, leaving nothing fucking intact. Hey yo, you been hacked. You're safe, hard in, but I found it, homie, been cracked. Hey yo, we been back. Your band stacking, see you flexing with the thin stack. Hey bitch, you been whacked. I kill 'em all, feel a motherfucking impact. Yo, this a war zone, homie. Say you ready and prepared. Take a minute, make them aware. Well, I be sneaking in the back, but it's what the clap. Homie, life ain't fair. Caught me crawling through the mud where the vision saw it clearly. Born a shepherd to these sheep. Make them fear me. This a war zone. Trenched out, trap house, nothing ever given. Yeah, every day's a blessing. Thank the Lord, oh, how I'm living. See me riding with my top down. Oh, cops round, pedal pressing on the gas. I don't think I'll ever stop.
Welcome back into the Play versus High School Rocket League Championship Finals in the Pacific region now. I am the Doxology. Alongside me is Caribou. And really, we've seen a couple different matchups throughout our time here, Caribou. And this one is another big region. We're talking a lot of teams going through a big bracket all the way into the finals. And I'm really, really excited. But this is a first for me. Both teams named Rocket 1. So how are we going to determine the two? We'll see coming up for game 1. Of course, the winner of this one, it's going to be a best of 7 final. I mean, you've got that first game to kind of feel things out. And the winner of this championship, not only going to be a region champion, they're also going to move on to the PlayVS Cup in this next month of June, which is going to be extremely, extremely exciting. So you look at the Nanaimo Christian School. They are Rocket 1, but they use the numerical 1. And then you've got the Okanagan Mission Secondary School team, which is Rocket 1 with a actual word 1 written out, which that's the first I've ever experienced anything like this.
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting because it's one, and well, someone have to take the ground at the end. But either way, to have a matchup like that, and what we've seen from the regions, we've seen the Eastern Region Finals, we've seen the Central Region Finals. To go to the Pacific, we've already done a couple of West Coast shows as well. The West Coast, I mean, everybody knows just in North America, it's just kind of stacked with esports. So this is going to be a very high caliber, high octane matchup, and I expect very high quality gameplay out of these two teams.
Absolutely. And the Nanaimo Christian School is what it is. The Rocket 1, I mean, they've gone through their brackets, and again, they were very, very good all the way through. You look at some of the bracket through and through, you've got a 3 and a 4 seed. So both of these teams doing a very good job putting them in a really great chance throughout this season. But I'm just looking through, I mean, these teams that they played another 64 team bracket. The 1 seed over here in the Desert Scorpions, I mean, they made it through quite a ways and finally got knocked out by a team literally called the second placers in the 3rd round, which is really kind of one of those things that you don't necessarily anticipate being down to the second placers.
That's like, well, okay, I should be able to beat as the 1 seed, but get through. So we get into the finals, as you mentioned, the PlayVS Cup. So not only are you playing to be the Pacific Regional Champion, but also potentially a champion of champions. And we're already seeing Okanagan coming out swinging with the shot on in the first 10 seconds.
Okanagan in the orange, Nanaimo in the gray. You see both of these teams that deserve it, but again, how are you going to tell which one when they're both named Rocket 1? I mean, you see Tez right there clearing things out. He's gotten warmed up and is ready to go in this matchup, as 30 seconds already have ticked by. Some good defensive skills, some rotations, and now you kind of feel each other out, really, as that's a big time goal right in the back of the net. You gotta love to see it from Nanaimo, already on the board.
Just read that one off the wall, put it in. You know, we dealt with a little bit of thunder in the last series as well, but the wrong kind of thunder. This time around, don't go thunder. Getting that one there, just reading it all very well. And just putting the shot on. There's only one defender back. Just got to capitalize on that. Okanagan and their offense, just out of game 1, as we've said, this is a game to set the pacing of the series. They're setting very high.
Another big goal for Okanagan. I mean, really, under a minute has gone by, and you've seen a lot of aggression from both of these teams, but capitalizing on that one, you got Caden, Choco Thunder, and it looks like Jixie for Okanagan. You've got Owned Gamers, Jack Black, and Tez for Namo. Again, the beautiful thing about this championship is that because it's such a big region, it allows these players to really feel like they've gone against so many players. I mean, we think about how many players are in such a big region that they have the confidence that they deserve to be here. I mean, this is a massive, massive accomplishment when you're going through all the games, and then the tournament of 64, the best of the best. And now you have a chance to not only play for a regional and a division championship, but then to move on into a PlayVS Cup next month. I mean, that's just a huge accomplishment for these players.
Yeah, hundreds of teams you've had to beat out in competition to make it to a bracket of 64, to make it through that gauntlet to get here. And Okanagan, just the way they've started this, so many shots on, so many opportunities. Their passing game is impeccable right now, but a 3-0 lead here a couple minutes into this game. This is a statement right now that they are here to win. But we have seen, even with one singular, one-sided statement victory, how quickly things can turn around.
Both of these teams were 20-5 on the regular season going into the playoffs. So you think about that. I mean, a very equal matchup. Okanagan just finding the goal quicker in this game one of a best of 7 series. But we've seen it so many times, Caribou, where, a team will take a lead and then the next team will just make those correct adjustments, shut them down, and take the next few games.
And yeah, not even in the sense of like looking at the game. They're still, they have a 3-0 lead with like 2.5 minutes left. There's still a lot of time in this game, some adjustments and corrections to be able to try to take this one back. So by no means are they out of this one at all.
Jack Black working along the boards for Nanaimo Christian. You see how well these teams continue to rotate. You think about it, you've got the Rocket 1 team for the Trailblazers, which is what their school's mascot is. I mean, they go back and forth, and they are trailblazing as these teams continually apply pressure. And you love to see, and there's Tez hitting on the board, and that really gives me the sense that Tez is going to go up for that, and then he's going to follow through. Watch him just put it into the back of the net, beating out Caden on the defense. A great job. And that gives me the sense that Nanaimo is starting to kind of feel out this really this potent offense, but also the defense of Okanagan.
Yeah, and just being able to start in what they want to do. I mean, Caden's been a pretty good player to play on the line and just try to find ways around this. We've seen Okanagan setting up good pass, but finding an angle where you can get an exploit of the defense going the other way. But they're trying to find something on the other end, but straight up, Okanagan is just not letting them get any clearances out. A beautiful dunk, Fred. I would assume JZ to get that in, and a 4-1 lead here for Okanagan in Game 1 is a great championship series.
Underway with 1:20 remaining. You see Okanagan with a 4-1 lead against Nanaimo. I mean, you think about what a Game 1 feels like too. I mean, you really you have that Game 1 as that warm-up almost, as you've gone through your warm-ups, and then this is that championship speed. You've played all the other teams, but this is the team that has earned their spot in this championship. And so now you have to play to their speed and learn their speed, as a lot of pressure is applied by Chaco Thunder. I mean, another big-time goal coming in for Okanagan. And Chaco Thunder just uses his boost, all of it. You see him all the way at 0 boost by the end of it. And that's just an impressive goal. So it's 52 seconds. Okanagan in a very good position going into Game 2 with what can be assumed is going to be a 1-game lead.
Yeah, and it's a good way to set the tone, set the pace here, to bring that intensity. Like I said, with the Central region, the way it's going, it's 11 a.m., it's early. I get it, it's a Sunday, high schoolers, you don't want to wake up early, but Pacific side, it's earlier. Now it's 10:30 in the morning, and somehow we're time traveling, but it's just how time zones are, and nobody really wants to have to wake up or set an alarm on a weekend, but when it's for something like playing for a championship, well, I think it's worth getting up a little extra early and warming up, and it seems like Okanagan's done just that, because they are feeling very warm here.
You see Chaco Thunder with another extra goal this game. 6-1 Okanagan. I mean, that's just a very dominant performance, as they kind of feel out. But again, Caribou. We've seen these teams make the adjustments, and I think Nanemo's gonna make those adjustments well. I definitely know that they have that ability coming through in the bracket that they did of this entire Pacific region. You think of 64 teams. And now with Okanagan getting game 1, what are some of the adjustments that we are going to see from Nanemo?
I think a little more aggression on possession should be a point of factor, because they really didn't have a lot of contestation against Okanagan. They just kind of let Okanagan play their own offensive style, play at the speed that they wanted to. They were able to play the ball very well. They had a lot of good passing plays. We've seen a lot of good assists to come through. And on the other side, looking to see what Nanemo can do, looking for something in transition, find a counterattack, find a place where you can get a numbers advantage, whether that be through out-rotating Okanagan or just getting a bump or a demo to push the defense out of the way. There's options here that you can work with to try to crack open what Okanagan's done in their game plan.
Well, I mean, you look at their playoff, just their playoff, schedule that they had to go through, both coming through 8-0, not dropping any of those, matchups. That gives them that really good feeling that, maybe if they drop a game, they're going to come in and they're going to be okay. I mean, when I said 20-5 before, the actual number is 24. We got our fact checkers that can help us out here. They actually were both 24-1 on games this season apiece. So going in, they're the 3 and the 4 seed, 24-1, losing 1 game. That means literally that was the second game lost by Nanemo this season long. I mean, that's just an impressive feat right there in and of itself. And I expect them to come out and be a little bit more aggressive here coming into game 2 of this Pacific region finals.
I'd like to see them try, and I don't know if they can physically match the pace of Okanagan, but I'd like to see them at least try to slow Okanagan down and simultaneously increasing that. And you take it, one step at a time, whether you're focused, slow down your gameplay. Just don't let it get to a point where you're trying to play so fast that everything's out of control, the possessions get sloppy, because that is something that a lot of Rocket League players fall victim to, where they want to speed up the game, but they end up just hitting it just to hit it, and there's no cohesiveness to any of their game plan at all.
Almost a minute gone by already in game 2. The Jay-Z working along the boards for Okanagan. Choco Thunder and Caden on the attack. Now Jack Black coming in for Nanemo. You gotta love the names. Little hats off to Jack Black. See Tez and Gamers coming through as well. And Choco Thunder has just been absolutely all over the place on the offensive and defensive side for Okanagan. And now with 3:42 remaining, I mean, just a very clean game so far. There haven't really been any shots on goal from either of these teams, as finally Choco Thunder with a big shot there right on cue, as Tez with a big time save. I mean, that was a big save by Tez, putting himself in the position to make that just amazing, defensive play. You've got to have some help, though. I didn't see anybody from Nanemo really helping Tez out. He was just kind of alone in the goal, and now you see the same thing right now as Tez gets glanced off of Choco Thunder, and Choco Thunder has his next goal, first goal of this game, but again, he's been scoring left and right since game 1.
Yeah, and just the defensive double commit, I think at that point is necessary, because you have an offensive double commit as well. But it's just a matter of both of them overshooting it ever so slightly. Didn't keep anybody on the backside, potentially to deflect off the 50 the other way. Almost a dangerous one. Jay-Z, that's one of the things that is dangerous about using that. A hitbox is not as tall as you really want it to be, so almost glances that one into the net to immediately tie this back up. But as you said, Choco Thunder has been having a phenomenal offensive series already just through these first 2 games. Seems to be the point man, if you will, for Okanagan, because that is always, if there's someone up there in the face of the goalkeeper, it's that car right there.
2:35 remaining in game 2. Choco Thunder coming in on the attack. Again, attacking Jack Black along the boards. See him kind of work through. Tez has to try to clear it out. And again, Jay-Z goes up for it. Ariel just can't quite get to it. You see Jack Black working along the midfield. That's going to be stopped by Caden. You see the boost usage by Caden to stay up. And Choco Thunder just been everywhere. Offense, defense, you name it. Midfield, he has played so incredibly well. Big save by Caden in front of the goal. 2:02 remaining in this game. Jay-Z just clearing it out. And now, really, we haven't seen any big attacks from Nanaimo, and you would really expect them to kind of start putting a couple more shots on goal, maybe get a little bit aggressive and work on some demos and things like that, bumping them out of the way. But instead, Jay-Z on the other side of the field comes down and powers that one home for a 2-goal lead for Okanagan.
Yeah, and you just see the defense just trying to get back in time. You have to try to answer Caden and where Caden's going, but at that point, you ultimately take yourself out of the play. Jay-Z just has to follow it up and play it wherever the momentum of the other defender is going to be going. And Caden playing phenomenally well on the defensive side, off the kickoff as well, able to get the pinch and the shot follow-up. Like, Jack Black just didn't expect it to go that way. Little half-a-second delay on the call-out, like, hey, someone's got to get there. Half a second too late. Now a 3-0 lead in 18-second change.
1:37 remaining. A 3-goal lead for Okanagan. I mean, you look at the seeding of it, Okanagan comes in as the 4 seed. Nanaimo comes in as the 3rd seed. And right now, I mean, this is not that that's too much of an upset. You know, you look at a 4 and 3 seed, that's pretty equal throughout. But they're just playing so incredibly well right now in Okanagan's offense and defense, their rotations, how they're utilizing the boost, you know, really maximizing their, you know, strategy so far. They've just done a really good job. That goes over Tez. It hits the pole. Caden gets the redirect. And that was just a beautiful created opportunity by Caden. He comes down, picks up that full boost. Then he comes back and he actually glances this as Jack Black could not get to it. With 1:02 remaining in this game too, and Okanagan with a 4-goal lead.
And it took them a while to get here. So, I mean, there is here for Nanaimo in the sense that up until the 2-minute mark, it was a 0-0, 1-0 game. Like, it could go either direction. Then all of a sudden, a single little chip in the armor, Okanagan finds a hole, they get a goal, they get another one off the kickoff, which is just bound to happen. Team, regardless, you just get a pinch going the right way, get the follow-up. Those things happen, but 4-0 lead, and when you have a shot like that, where you have a 2-on-1, 3-on-1 advantage, Jay-Z makes the save, and you don't get a goal, like that, just now chip in the armor is becoming a chip away at the morale.
A big-time save in the back of the net by Jay-Z, and you see a big demo. And now I anticipate in this next game, you'll sense a little bit more physicality, a lot more demos and utilization of that to clear some space for Nanaimo. They've got to get shots on goal as game 2 goes to Okanagan. I mean, that's a big 4-0 win for them. And the 4 seed coming into this, I mean, they've gone through what they've gone through. They've made sure that they've put themselves in this position, but they just came out firing from the get-go, and they have not stopped. You think about 6 goals in the first game, 4 goals in that game, with only allowing 1 goal. That's an impressive defensive and offensive front.
You've got it figured out on both sides, and now it's going to go the other way to Nanaimo as to what can they figure out on the other side, because, like I said, for the first, it was a close game. It was 0-0, 1-0. Like, it's just right there at your fingertips. You just got to be able to play to break open that defense on the other side. And then all of a sudden, the velocity just spikes through the roof, and Okanagan pick up 3 goals very quickly, take a 3-0 lead in 18 seconds, and it's like, oh, all right, well, any chance we had, or any hope we had to try to pick up some momentum is just kind of down right now. So this is a very important, very crucial game for Nanaimo, not only just because they don't want to be down 3-0 in the series, but also because if they want to build up some momentum, they have to do it now.
Absolutely, they have to do it now. And now game 3 right around the corner, about to get started. Nanaimo looking to answer back. They're down 2-0 in this best of 7 series, but as the 3 seed, I anticipate them to wrap around, make the adjustments that they need to. We'll see rotations probably cleaned up a little bit to give them a lot more defensive help. We've seen Tez make some amazing saves in the back of the net, but he has not had that rotational help by Gamers or by Jack Black. And I think that will help out a lot if they're able to get some of that. You see Tez all the way back in the net, really playing that defensive role for Nanaimo. And I think we would like to see him be able to get out a little bit as that shot goes wide. And again, O'Connor on the attack as Caden with a beautiful shot going aerial exactly 30 seconds down into game 3. And now O'Connor strikes first again, and they are really just applying the pressure. You see a little rain cloud there on the celebration goal, and they're really being the rain cloud to Nanaimo right now.
Yeah, and we just watching Choco Thunder and JC up front on the attack. I mean, Caden's done exceptionally well on the defensive side, but knowing that your defensive man can make a rotation from midfield on an opportunity like that, having the reliability of your teammates to be able to finish a play like that, like recognizing your first 2 primary attacks are out of position, Caden can hit the boost, catch the ball at midair, midfield, and then just take the shot and get the goal scored. That's incredible faith in your teammates that you can get the job done when you need to.
And one of the beautiful things is you see Tez was in chat just a little bit ago, and he said they actually know the other team. So this is a very fun matchup for them to be able to go head to head, which always amplifies that, almost like that sibling rivalry when and you're close to them. I mean, that it's not just, hey, good on you, good game, but it's also like, hey, let's see who is the better brother or who is able to take this home. So that's an exciting attribute to this championship final.
Yeah, and the fact that there is the familiarity with it, I'm sure these teams have probably played each other, probably scrimmed against each other, and so they have a decent idea going into this as to what they need to do for the other side and or what they need to adjust for their strategy to deal with the other team. And it's obviously showcasing very well. O'Connor have known what they do right back where we were in the last game. It's only 1-0, got a couple of minutes gone by, and Nanaimo's still very much within striking distance, but there's just an uncomfortable amount of time being spent on this end of the field. The heat map is just not looking good for Nanaimo.
Jack Black with a really beautiful move that was just floating up. Choco Thunder absolutely coming out of nowhere to make that save. That was a big time save as that ball was just floating centered up. You see Jay-Z going up for it and carrying it all the way through. Jack Black can't rotate back quick enough, and we've seen it before. They need to make sure they get back to help out Tez. Jack Black is right there trying to. Almost got enough of it, but instead that goes into the back of the net. And now O'Connor with a 2-goal lead with 2:33 remaining in game 3.
Still a lot of time that Nanaimo has to work with here, but just the fact again that the offense of O'Connor spent this much time on this field, that they've had so much success with their opportunities created. They went for a little bit of a pinch at midfield, it didn't work, but then Jay-Z just carries it into the goal. O'Connor's offense is just working regardless of the approach that they're taking, whether they want to play it off, whether they want the aerial dribbles, whether they want the passes and assists. Everything they're doing is just working so far, and Nanaimo just the credit we give to the defenses, I mean, they're framing a little assist to the defense to Nanaimo here, but it's 12-1 on the series score right now for goals scored. Nanaimo just has not found anything on the offensive front.
Gamers comes through. Jack Black working along the boards. Jay-Z comes to contest, and now you see Caden play it off the boards with 1:35 remaining in game 3. And again, Tez playing that defensive spot, trying to really help out his teammate, but Choco Thunder going up for it again, says, I think you dropped this. Here, let me help you. And just drops that into the back of the net over Jack Black. Just a beautiful pitch and catch by Caden and Choco Thunder. Now, a 3-goal lead. That was only a few seconds that went by. Caribou, I mean, O'Connor is just playing absolutely lights out right now.
And it's just a rinse and repeat of what we saw in the last one. I mean, it was a close 1-0, 2-0, halfway point, and then O'Connor now just starting to pick up more and more momentum the later stages of this game, and potentially that's a cause in the sense that they're starting to get a little frantic in their play. They're starting to get a little sloppy, trying to find a way to get out of the defensive zone. Try to find a way to get to the midfield at least at this point. Like, set a goal for yourself to keep the ball around midfield, start to pull that heat map away from your box, because that's just the disaster of this series, that O'Connor is getting too much time to pitch a tent on the other side of the field.
40 seconds are on the clock. I mean, honestly, you see how they kind of rotate through, and I was just kind of watching and listening to the rotate back, and I wish I could hear almost what these teammates are saying to each other, because there are some clean rotates, and then there's moments like that where Caden just drops that in over the defense with 26 remaining in this game. I mean, for a little bit though, I just kind of was watching those back rotates, and you see them rotate almost too far up, and Caden recognized it as well, and now capitalizes it for O'Connor, and a 4-goal lead. You think about it, and like you said before, it was 12-1. Now it's 14-1 on the differential in this series.
Yeah, this is just immaculate success that O'Connor seen. Make it 15 at this point. But that they have had substantial success on this side of the field. They're on the side of the field. So you can see the scoreboard a second at the end of this game. The shot count is probably going to be like 18-2. Like, Nanaimo just have not had any opportunities to go the other way. And that, unfortunately, is just a detriment of Rocket League, in the sense that you give up double-digit count to the other team. That already is problematic. When you just keep doing more and more, and you can't find any way to continue to match the saves or continue to match your saves with their shots, and giving up more goals. Like, this is just morale completely washed away in a flash flood for Nanaimo.
As the final few seconds of Game 3 are going to tick by, now Nanaimo is going to be facing with a rather difficult feat, but a possible feat in Rocket League. We have seen it before, but being down 3-0 in a best of 7, they are now going to be facing 4 elimination games in a row. But currently, O'Connor, just with all of the control from defense to offense to midfield to boost, they just seem to be controlling this game and this series so well.
Yeah, and Nanaimo just have not found any way. I mean, the sense that Nanaimo's gotten through 2 minutes in this game, through 3 minutes in game 2, where it's a 1-2 goal game, like, you make it a majority of the game time where it's within striking distance. It's very feasible for you to find something. But the problem with it, there's still 2 minutes of time, 3 minutes of time that O'Connor is spending in your box, and they just clearance out. They can't find any way to maintain a possession because O'Connor has just kept them pinned to the wall. There's nothing that they can do to get out of the zone. So first and foremost, just try to find a way to slow down that offense, because with the amount of points that they're putting up, you don't shoot them, you're not going to outscore them. You got to be able to stop their scoring.
Yeah, and one of the things too that we recognize is that the first few minutes of that game, the game was very close. It was 1-0 for quite a while. It wasn't until really they opened the floodgates and the waters came through that allowed that 6-0 win. But you gotta at least attribute a lot of the defense to Nanaimo and the way that they've held off those first little bits. Maybe if they're able to capitalize on some of those early moments while they keep it close, that would give them the confidence boost, as well as the goal, the detriment that they've been in, maybe turn that differential around a little bit, get a goal on the board, and then play their defense and be able to kind of feel like, hey, we have that, 1-goal cushion, 2-goal cushion, and kind of push the envelope a little bit more and help out Tez. Tez has been doing an amazing job playing defense, but when you're stuck with a 1v2 or a 1v3, it makes it very, very difficult to, make a couple saves back to back to back.
Yeah, and give credit to Jack Black for making good rotations on the defense to get. It's like after Tez makes an initial save, like, Jack Black's always next one up there to try to get a bump, try to deflection on the shot or something of that nature. But it just comes down where a breakdown and the onslaught of shots from O'Connor is the difference maker, and that's why they thought. But, 60 seconds plus where we haven't had anything. I mean, a demo on the other side might create an opportunity here for O'Connor. That ball just left hovering, and that's the defensive mistake right there. Both of them double commit. You see one just floating in midair. He accidentally gets bumped from your teammate. Tez comes across and leaves that one wide open for Caden. And Jack Black just had respawn. So Jack Black's not even in the mix, just going to get boost.
3:46 remaining in this game 4. Okanagan, the 4 seed, coming into this championship looking so good. They've been dominant through game 1, 2, and 3. And now with a 1-goal lead, they're looking to put this away in 4 and be your Pacific region champions.
Oh,
If you're Nanaimo, I mean, you're trying everything you can to keep Okanagan out of your attacking zone. And as Caden, another goal on the board for Okanagan. And now they're starting to kind of put that pressure on again with the 2-goal lead. And you kind of get the sense that Nanaimo is really starting to feel that pressure.
yeah, and Caden just will not be denied. That initial possession almost got the chip over the top of Tez, but enough of a deflection to keep it out. Caden immediately going out with a hit with a 180 and just puts that ball up and away from Tez, who's flat-footed in the goal. Caden has done a excellent job on both sides. Has been a fantastic all-around player, but Jay-Z, Choco Thunder as well have just been phenomenal accents to this team, and just the sense that on offense the whole time, really don't have to worry about their defense because their defense is their offensive possession.
3:05 remaining as the kickoff goes off. A 3-goal lead. You see how quickly you see Jay-Z, Caden, everybody gets in on this offensive attack so fast that it's so hard to stop the onslaught of shots. And you see the rotation back to get that midfield boost and then immediately back at it to go at that goal again and another shot on goal. I mean, it's just so hard to stop something like that as that goes off the top crossbar, finally cleared out, gives them a chance to kind of breathe for just a second. So, I mean, it's just been an impressive offensive, but also a defensive run for Okanagan in keeping that ball out of their defensive zone.
Yeah.
Anytime it goes in, it's immediately chipped back out and onto the offensive side.
I think you said it best in the sense of looking Nanaimo with a long clear gets a chance to breathe, if not just for a second. That ball spent about 4 seconds on the other side of the field. There's a couple of demos. They kept it around midfield. After that, they just send it right back to the zone, and Caden just showcasing the individual skills, gets the flip reset, little extra boost, little icing on the cake with the demo on the near post. No chance that ball's getting stopped. Okanagan is just rolling.
Under 2 minutes to go. Okanagan 4, Nanaimo 0, as Nanaimo trying to find some way to stop the offense of Okanagan and push this to a game 5. But Caden has been absolutely fire for Okanagan, going up for it again, playing it off the wall. That's a beautiful center. Does it go in? Just a bit wide as Jay-Z comes in and tries to knock that in. I mean, the team cohesion. I mean, we talk about the individual player, but between Okanagan's entire team, it feels like their communication and their movement is so clean, as Caden says, I'm not done yet. I'm just not done yet.
Yeah, just watching how fast they get down the field, and already, I mean, you talked about it earlier, fast and clean the rotations are from Okanagan. They're just immediately in striking position. They got 2 players there. Caden played the wall. See Choco able to catch it and then send it right back over to Caden with a 5-0 lead here now. This is basically all but over for Okanagan, the way that they are just so confidently rolling through defense and keeping possession in this one. They're doing everything at this point, and then Nanaimo just hasn't got anything going for themselves. And it just, you know, every team's got one of those days where it's just not working out, the plan's not working, and that's probably what's helping. Is you see another demo. Things getting a little frisky out there. It's like in 50 demos in the last 60 seconds.
And Caden is not letting up for Okanagan. I think at this point, Caden just really feels like he wants to make a very big statement and show everybody what he's capable, given the opportunity. A 6-0 lead for Okanagan in this game 4, and they are just 52 seconds away from being the Pacific Division champions, and that puts them into the PlayVS Cup next month, which is an extremely exciting opportunity as well. So you get a couple weeks off, and then you go and you play the best of the best of the best.
It'll be very exciting to see how all match up against each other, especially when you see something like Okanagan, who's now a name that will be remembered. It's like, oh yeah, this is the team we watched in the Pacific region, whose offense was just relentless. They gave nothing up on the defensive side. They took everything on the offensive side. It was just a team that did not stop. Aiden single-handedly has 5 goals and like 10 shots. Like, when I talk about a team, when a team gets 10 plus shots, that's already problematic if you're not even able to match half of that. When a single player gets 10 plus shots, all of a sudden that is a whole different beast that you have to deal with.
And congratulations, the 4 seed takes the victory and the championship of the Pacific Region Finals. I mean, I can't say enough about Caden. Caden played so clean, did not make mistakes. Anything that he did, the rotations were so clean. The backup was so good. You see that 5 goals, 10 shots on goal. I mean, it's just an impressive performance by them. But hats off to Nanaimo. I mean, they did a phenomenal job to get here as the 3 seed. They played very well throughout the season. But really just coming into this game, going against the player caliber of Okanagan, I just felt like Caden had control the entire series long.
Yeah, Caden just acting as the point man, just the amount of pressure up front that was applied, as well as the amount of pressure off of line. Like, any chance Nanaimo had where they would get a clearance and get a possession to go the other way, maybe half a dozen good shots across all 4 games. And every time they had a shot on opportunity, Caden was one that was on the goal line, ready to just brush it out of the way with ease and then take it the other way. And we saw Okanagan's offense strike so quickly. But yeah, to give credit to Nanaimo as well. Both these teams 24-1 going into playoffs. Like, it's no slouch of a team on either side. It's just a matter that Nanaimo had an off day or Okanagan had a really good day.
Absolutely. And again, now Okanagan moving to that opportunity to go to the PlayVS Cup, which is that culmination of the Scholastic year of esports excellence. I mean, anybody that played in the 2020 or the 2021 fall championships or the spring season championships in the high school and youth leagues, I mean, they're invited to go to this, and it's a really, really cool head-to-head that will take place that will determine a single champion across whether it's League of Legends, Fortnite, or of course Rocket League. Again, congratulations to Okanagan. You are the Pacific Region champions. That's going to do it for us. I'm the Doxology, alongside me, Caribou, and from PlayVS and everybody here, we would like to say stay tuned, because next will be the Arkansas, the AAA Rocket League Championship Finals in just a moment. We'll take a quick break and be back right after this.